test. Is anyone there? And are we streaming? It says we're live. It says there's some viewers already, which seems hard to believe. Given that there's no comments, I assume that those viewers are fictional. Let's open a game. Let's open the very last game. It's above 2,000. Testing. Is anybody here? Test, test, test. Hello. People. Talk to me. Alright, here's the game. A game on a map I've never played. Oh, here we go. We got some people. What's up, guys? Hi, Blooder. Hi, Kurtze, Werner, and Owly. Owly. That sounds like something an Irish person would say. Old instead of old. Alright. Chamorroso. Don't know what the name means, but that's Esperanto. Isekai-chan still has that terrible name. It's Farms. Alright. Gateway and Roads. This is a new map from Bias. It's kind of annoying, the walls here. You can't actually see that this is a anti-air. It's the same on both sides. The anti-air is supposed to, I guess, stop you from just flying across directly to here. I think that's the only... It's like a very specific map design element. Don't know how valuable it is, but really need to see a lot more of this map before I know what it's like. I've only seen a couple of games, so this one should be informative. No power, just hydro. It's gonna stall slightly. No. Farms. Built one power generator before the hydro. Both going second air, obviously. So looks like you can't. Yeah, so this starting location is completely enclosed by water and a cliff. So you're not gonna build a lot of land spam here anyway, that's for sure. Seems like this would be the staging ground for a bit of land spam in the central area, which seems there's quite a few mexes here. Then we also have some plateau here. This is cut off from the land, other land masses, and so is this. We have some islands. We have other plateaus here. So it's quite a complex map in terms of the terrain. The terrain is quite complex, which is not always that desirable in a Supreme Commander map, in my experience. But we'll see. It's more difficult to make maps, I would say, of this complexity. Oh my goodness. Esperanto went straight for a transport, and he also seems to have messed up his building somewhat. There's an unfinished P-gen. He'll definitely get a drop here. Hi, Malta. But he probably can't drop anywhere else. And he's dropped 4 engineers very close to his base here, so that's not great at all, really. And he could walk here very quickly with engineers. Bomber follows the Intis. Oh, wow, he's gotten quite far here with this transport. He will actually get to the other island, so that was nice micro from Esperanto, or maybe bad micro from Farms. Now Farms sending his own transport. Also sending his ACU to the left, not sending it to the central main landmass. Pepsi has some factories planned adjacent to the P-gens. Here comes the bomber. Let's see, will this factory finish? Oh, it's close. Oh, it's close. God damn it, that's so close. That is terrible for Pepsi. And he, of course, has lost air. Farms sounds the battle cry. And he's dropping on the plateau. That's nice. Always nice to drop plateaus because they're very often not taken back or recaptured by the enemy. So drops on the hydro here. He should drop something here for sure next, I would say. So long since I had the time for Subcom, maybe a shutdown in Germany won't be so bad, says Kurtz. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people may have a bit more time for FAF in the coming weeks and months. Other transport gets loaded up for Esperanto. He does have more mass so far in this game, this in total. He has less income at the moment. Is there any navy? Because I know that, well, yeah, Pepsi has a factory building, but there's a lot of these mexes in this. I'm pretty sure Bias, the map maker, tested so that these are killable. A lot of these mexes on the water, on the edge of the land. They are killable by frigates. I hope the internet won't go down. Yeah. Well, I know a thing or two about the internet in Germany thanks to various German players, especially Torin. So yeah, I guess that's a that's a worry. Some Novax action. Yeah, it's unlikely to see a Novax in a game on this map anyway. A couple of drops. Engineers gonna fight. Reinforcements. Paratroopers dive in. And Farms escapes on 2 HP. And this could be, well, let's see if Esperanto will realize that there's still another NG here. Quite a lot more Mantis in the center than there are strikers, as you would expect. Oh, looks like we do have a drop here, and an engineer has been reclaimed because there's no wreckage left. There's one built mech, so there's only one place that that engineer must have gone to, into Farm's bank account. I feel like my mic is a bit quiet. What do you think? Let me see. Oh, it's It's actually alright. Hi, John. Quarantined, I mean, not exactly, but yeah, most things are shut down. In terms of like schools and universities and all that are all closed. People are supposed to work from home. You know, a lot of things are closed, but you know, shops are open and whatever. Transport is running. Yeah. There's not many cases in Ireland, though. At the moment. It should be pretty well managed at this point if they're going to shut down everything for the rest of March at least, so. Pretty extreme precautions, but perhaps necessary. Right. So it's still quite an even game, even though that bomber is so nasty. But didn't let Pepsi get triggered or anything. It's playing on. We have T2 air from both players. Common, very common to see T2 air in this map for sure. I think it's going to be the main choice for most people is T2 air. I mean, T2 Navy is a big risk because it's such a big investment into singular units which can be sniped, like destroyers. And of course, what they're going to be sniped by is T2 air, torpedo bombers and things. Then T2 land. T2 land certainly could be a good option, but this here is a cliff, so you can't get through here. So say if you're, as the map is split at the moment, you know, T2 land's gonna have to run all the way around to raid through the middle. T1 land feels like it's going to be more effective with the ASU for a long time rather than switching to T2 land. So I feel like this map is going to be all about airplay, and also the early game drops and things are going to be the main difference makers in on this map. Hey, Alistair has. Uh-oh, air fight, and Farms has been out microed there. But let's see if he still has the numbers to win it. It doesn't look like he does, actually. That's quite good air micro from Esperanto. Oh, that last part actually was quite bad. But it doesn't matter, he already won at that point. He needs to kill the gunships, though. Oh, drop Mantis into the base. And the Janus have completely missed. We have 4 T2 mexes in the main base for Farms. Oh, is he gonna bomb his own mexes? Doesn't look like it. The Mantis just don't have the damage to take out those T2 mass extractors. Only 3 for Esperanto. Here you can see the frigates can actually hit a ton of mexes, so this is gonna be quite painful for Farms. He's gonna lose a lot of mexes to these few frigates unless he gets some. Needs to get some torpedo bombers out quite quickly. You played with the Sim Speed Plus mod on Settings. What mod is that? Janus attacking the ACU. A lot of Janus. And he's not really dodging. You can dodge some by just walking in a straight line, but it helps to turn a bit though. Basically quality of performance, but better. Well, I've never seen the mod, so... But, I would say it'd be more likely to get that mod to be a rated mod, so you can play rated games with it, rather than implementing the whole mod, because likely has a big impact on visuals and things. I'd imagine, but I haven't played with it, so I actually don't know. And now we see the total air victory is potentially going to, well, very, very likely going to end in death of Esperanto. He's getting blocked on the way to the water by his own Mantis, and that might actually be enough to kill him. Oh, it's going to be close. 600, 200. Yeah, there he goes. I think there's a lot of frigates going around, and he probably could have done the damage he did with those frigates with only one factory instead of two. That's, you know, it's a decent amount of mass in frigates. 2,750 in it, and also they're sort of bunched up. He hasn't killed all the frigates, all the mexes, sorry. So, although the frigates can kill a lot of stuff, I still think he probably did overinvest, and it is all about air, this map, for sure. Which is, again, one of the reasons why complex terrain is a tricky thing to do on a map, because, well, air does not give a shit about terrain, so if you make the terrain complicated for the land units to move around, then it only has a beneficial impact on what the air can do. So there we go. There's one game. Win for farms. If I have some feedback or brutal burn about your casts, I don't know. I mean, I listened to the last one. It was just some short game. What was it? TZ versus Pepsi? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like good cast, normal cast. I enjoyed it. The game was terrible, but that's an issue. I have a more recent one, Forbidden Pass. Oh, let me see. Jared Galvin. Am I Irish? Yes, I am. Are you Irish with a name like that? You have a more recent one. Let's see. Oh, Torn vs. Thomas. Yeah, I haven't seen that one actually. Alright, well, when I check that one out, then I can give some more feedback. I have a problem of judging the players should be unopinionated. Say certainties. Well, I would say don't be too worried about making mistakes, because you can't avoid making errors. Yes, working from home. Yeah, I mean, you'll make errors when you're casting all the time, so can't take those too seriously. Being opinionated, I mean, it depends. I don't know what you want to do. Like, are you afraid of offending players? Do you want to... I think the more entertaining casts are the ones where people get roasted, usually. Although I do try to be nice to people sometimes. Need to improve. Yeah, no, I meant mistakes in terms of like, if you say something about the game, how the game is going, and you just misread the game, like it's gonna happen. Kind of sounds annoying to this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you bang on players and you just... Yeah, that's not great either. It's, yeah, it's definitely not great. You want to try and balance it a bit, so... Say what people are doing well. Maybe say what they're doing terribly. But, like, you have to be honest about the gameplay as well. If they're doing stuff that's terrible, then have to point it out. But also don't, like, point out small irrelevant mistakes constantly, because that's, well, it's just not very interesting, I guess. And you can find a mistake in every 5 seconds if you really want to find it. And that being said, I can be quite pedantic about small things, but you can say it in an entertaining way, I guess. I do like the graphics for the UEFP gen. Pretty cool. Alright, transport immediately for farms, which is not what you normally see. Normally you see inties and bombers coming across. Scouts, of course. But going straight for a bomber, or straight for a transport, is a bit unusual. He's saying that's bad, that's good. It's bad. Instead, you should make a prediction what's likely to happen. Well, yeah. I mean, like, if you see someone doing something, you should try and explain the possible reasoning, I would say, rather than just saying this is a bad decision. You have to think, why did they do that? Because I remember once I made a stupid mistake where I said, I was wondering why somebody built a TMD randomly. I was like, oh, they just built it in a random location, and they had built it to defend their ACU from TML snipe. I just had a brain fart there, so things like that will happen. So I love how Esperanto immediately sent an engineer to mid to try and get the reclaim, and then Farms just dropped a ton of engineers on top, killed, reclaimed the engineer, and is now taking the middle reclaim. This is honestly meme level shit. This is it's just ridiculous. And he has 2 T2 mexes already. God damn it. Hello, William's son. Curses says he dislikes the map. Almost as bad as the one where I thought I was safe for the pond. Hey, Pablo. What's up? Watching me from 2 accounts to give me double the views. Thank you very much. That's highly unethical behavior. Yeah, Farms is really taking the piss in this game. I can't believe this. Is he going... Oh my god, look at this. He's going straight to T2 Navy. I was wondering where his mass was going aside from mechs upgrades, because he has only 1 air factory. Not much power. Oh, he's got T2. T2 Navy. He's getting one of the corners now. And Pepsi getting the other one at the same time. No land factories in the middle of the map whatsoever. Nothing. All that mass has gone into mexes and T2 Navy instead. And Pepsi, Pepsi has the fear of Janus in him. Look at this. This is anti-Janus P-Gen placement. Alright, well, let's see if we can make it work, because all these T1 land units are going to be useless until we see maybe T2 air transports. But what does Pepsi see? Well, now he sees very little, but he has scouted the base and he's seen T2 Navy and he's seen at least 4 T2 mexes. So here we go. First out, destroyer, followed by cruiser shield, I'm sure. Cruisers and shields all the way. Probably only one shield for a long time. And several cruisers. Oh, Farms is here, saying there's some small history. Thomas rushed T2 Navy versus Pepsi and crushed him. And then Pepsi did to Thomas and lost. Oh, look, he's given up on Navy actually. And he's also paused all his land factories, so he is reacting. Although he shouldn't pause all the land factories, he should build more engineers to get reclaim in the middle, that's for sure. Although he does still have this factory building. NGs needs to do a bit of micro, because there's still a lot of mass in the middle, a huge amount. Which is all his, except for the stuff the Farms is stealing on his way out. Alright, we have a drop. That can kill 1 mex, maybe kill 2 mexes. Oh, there's more drops coming. It looks like Pepsi has no air though. Yeah, almost no air. That's what he needs though, I guess. Actually, you know, I don't know what he needs at this point, because this is strange. Well, I would say he needs to take the reclaim, make economy, and yeah, making Navy, I guess, is the best option. Seems like pretty decent reaction, except there's no economy whatsoever. But I guess he doesn't need to make eco right now. Doesn't really seem like he needs eco. Maybe just some slow eco would be good. Is he really gonna kill a T2 mex here? Oh, the destroyer saves the day. Now these guys won't be so close to the water. He's gonna run around and can probably kill. Well, I mean, what's gonna stop him killing these mexes? I really don't know. What's the range here? Oh, actually is getting some, but not all. There's a single tank. No, sorry, 2 tanks now. And there's just more. I think the drops are gonna win. There goes the T2 mex. Unless, once again, this saves the day. Dead. Please kill that. There it goes. And the other one. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be going too well for Farms now. Not too great. I target it. Yeah, this looks a bit bad. Where is this ACU the whole time? In the water? Could have been very useful. Would have stopped all of this damage, basically. Or at least most of it, I'd say. And now we have, what, 2 destroyers. We're gonna have a third, but there's already a ton of frigates, T2 submarines, so that's a rip. That is a ripperoo. Why are there no mexes built here? That's very strange. But yeah, this game doesn't look too interesting. Is he really gonna lose a Tech 2 submarine to UEF destroyers? Because this sub has no torp defense. So you can see every shot lands from the torpedoes of the Valiant. Oh, another couple. It's not gonna kill him, but it's very close. Another drop. Pepsi firmly has air control. I think he should switch to destroyers quite soon. Should go T2 air, I guess. Still behind on economy, even though he has all the map, because he refuses to make mexes. And he seems to still be making some land units here. But most of them he has already dropped across and made use of. Eco seems overrated. Uh-oh. 5 down. I think this is a lot of destroyers now. 4 destroyers, and we have a Cooper out to try and deal with the submarines, but he won't need them if the submarines just suicide in directly. There goes 1. These frigates are going to get melted by UEF destroyers. One Cooper running very close. Come on. No. No, no, no. That is so sad. What a waste of a Cooper. And he only kills 1 more sub for that. Damn. So yeah, that sub could be kept. It has a very good range, and damn, it's a bad loss. And this drop is quite painful. Will the Medusas be able to kill the mechs? They're certainly going to kill the storages. There's no bomber. There's actually no bomber under construction either, and we still haven't seen a single cruiser. Now finally we have one under construction. Maybe too many destroyers have been built. God, he's gonna lose his power as well, and he does not have a T2P gen yet. This one only halfway completed. Oh, he actually lost a destroyer there. It's quite painful now. He's gonna lose another one for sure. Subs are running. Torpedo boat is under fire and it's dead. Another sub goes down, but there's 4 subs now and only 2 destroyers remain. There's 4 just before that. Ouch. T2 subs pretty good versus UEF destroyers and Seraphim destroyers. More drops, and with this loss it should be game over. Farms, oh that's not Farms, obviously it's Pepsi renamed to Farms. It's gonna run into the water, I guess, and take the reclaim. Completely invisible? What's completely invisible? I mean, there's nothing different about how visible barracudas are. So, I don't know when we made them less visible. It was not recently. Frigs do not have less vision. Frigs have less sonar. And sonar does not help versus stealth. Firearms soldiers on. Tries to continue ecoing. I don't know what that symbol is. It's just a box for me. Alright, we have some Coopers. Oh, they're getting wrecked though. There's so many submarines out. One Cooper goes down. A couple of submarines have gone down. Not sure what's going on here. There goes another sub. T3 Max, there we go. That's what we needed to see. Meanwhile, Esperanto has still got no T2 Max. No, he has one. He has a single T2 Max. The ecoing has begun. How can Torps see the barracudas if not for sonar? They can't. You have to. They have to be spotted by units that are in the water using a stat called Water Vision or Omni. Omni also can see them. Well, frigates never had very good vision, and they still don't. Things like destroyers have good vision. Cruisers have decent vision. Other submarines have okay vision, I think. Let me see. I'm not sure exactly of all the water vision stats. But I know frigates don't have great, and it hasn't been great for ever, really. But I mean, I don't get why there's never been a single shield in the entirety of this T2 Navy. I guess it's just lack of power, I guess. T3 Mex is done, by the way, though. That's huge. Oh, Soviet Pride is here. Renegade. Just blow up Cybern power. Yeah, that's true. They do require power to run the stealth, so if they're power stalling, they're not gonna have that stealth advantage. Yeah, Cybern subs versus Seraphim are definitely good. Very good. Yeah. Cruiser has done nothing, and actually that was a nice volley that he just got off. Nearly killed the cruiser with those subs. The subs are failing now, though. They are failing, and second T3 Rex is coming. What is going on? Wait, what? You played in? No, you didn't. Did you, Nathan? You weren't in the finals. You mean the qualifier? I'm assuming Nathan is Thou. 2 rounds versus Blast in the qualifier, alright. Okay, so Destroyer's out. This Cooper has a vet level. It had 2,600 mass killed, and now it's died. So sad. Still no shields. Farms, please tell me why you refuse to build a T2 shield. Think of how many units did not have to die. Like, this is the problem when people complain about, oh, this unit is so good. It's like if you don't use the units available to you, then the complaint holds a lot less water. Like if you have Coopers are amazing versus Barracudas, so complaining about the UEF destroyer torpedoes doesn't make sense if you don't take into consideration Coopers, and the Coopers are just going to kill the ACU, surely. Surely he dies. I mean, Coopers with shields are even nice versus, like, they're not just good against subs, they're good against all kinds of units. If they have shields. How has this game happened? How has it happened? Well, Aeon or Cybern could have right-clicked the other side of the map and not bothered with subs. Yeah, sure, that's fair. Aeon Destroyer is insane. Cybern Destroyer has, well, incredible torpedo defense. So yeah, I see your point there for sure. Something could be done there, I guess. Yeah, especially considering, you know, Cybern and Aeon are actually the ones with T2 subs. The fact that their destroyers can easily deal with T2 subs is maybe illogical. Either way, this whole game is illogical. Like, what the hell? Like, there's no way that Farms should have won this game. Let's put it that way. He went for a very silly strategy, I'd say, of not making anything in the middle, rushing a transport, dropping and stealing mid reclaim immediately, and then rushing T2 Navy with no land in the, like, what the hell, and rushing T2 Mexes. It's badness. And then he's just way behind, and really the problem was no economy from Chamorroso. If you're sorry, you don't need frigs. Yeah, well, I mean, Seraphim Destroyer is very good at dealing with frigs and stuff, so it's close range and all that. So Seraphim needs less frigs than in general, probably. More destroyers. Say UAF T2 Navy is better balanced because you have weaknesses in units you have to make up for in army composition. Yeah, that's fair. Other factions you spam one unit only. I would say, I mean, Cybern, I don't think you spam one unit only in Navy. I mean, you make a ton of frigs and destroyers, but that's the main thing. But the stealth boat is quite nice. The subs are extremely good. T2 subs versus Well, even versus factions where the destroyers are very good against submarines, you can still make use of T2 subs against the frigates. You can, if you take care of them, if you micro them properly, you can always get value out of Cyber and T2 subs, and the Aeon ones as well. Although I think it's probably less important for Aeon to make use of the subs. And then Seraphim, well, Seraphim just has less units available. But actually, Seraphim T1 subs with T2 destroyers, like say if you want to use subs and destroyers together, I think you can do that as Seraphim, like as a combo, because the destroyer has terrible torp defense, whereas this T1 subs have quite good torp defense. So they actually work pretty well together. And the destroyer has obviously tons of HP that can tank damage underwater. Tagada has some weird horde build order here. Well, let's see what he does. I have a lot of tree reclaim. No tree reclaim over here. We got the little Zoc style edge build the factory here. One engineer assisting. Gonna have 6 power generators before second air. A couple of engineers running to the hydro. Yeah, I mean, this is very particular what he's doing here. Clearly. So manual reclaim and attack move here. What are the first units? Scout and 3 inties. That's what I like to do. I don't like scout 5 inties. I think it's not enough scouts for me. I like 1 and 3. Although it's pretty expensive on scouts, but worth it, I would say. Farms has quite a bit less total mass already. Is early bomber not good? No, you can make early bomber on this map for sure. You can. Generally, it's going to aim for the engineers expanding to this expansion. But in general, an early bomber is a risk. Because both players are going to go second air on this map. So I'd say the highest level bomber is definitely not the most common option. It's mainly inties into a quite quick transport would be the main idea that most people adopt. 90% at 1600 do first bomber if they go second air. Yeah, I mean, on certain maps I would say at a higher level that's like that as well. But in certain situations, if you go second air, you should always go for a bomber. Like if it's a small map. But on this map, it's not the most common option. But it's not an incorrect choice, though, I would say. Just has to be done correctly. With the right idea in mind. This Mastol from Farms, he can't really afford this factory actually, but he is going T2 air immediately. 4.5 minutes and it's halfway to T2 air. Oh, you got some lag. Damn, the German internet fails Germany again. Sorry, Kurtz. Not playing today. I'll probably just cast, honestly. I haven't found my motivation on ladder. I play so lazily when I play that it's very difficult to win any games. Yeah, too many home office people, yeah. Alright, farms across the water. Much faster than Tagada. Tagada's bringing an engineer along though. T2 air is finished. And first Janus halfway to completion. Meanwhile, there's 2 air factories, some assistance. It looks like he abandoned the factory plan here. And the first player to drop is Tagada to this side. This is a normal location to drop to, probably because you have a much more open area and more reinforcements can easily be sent here. Like this is actually closer than this over here because of the terrain and the water. Closer to the main base. Factory goes up first, followed by all the mexes. And probably more factories. PD seems likely. Box, high box. I should cast a sentence game. Maybe we will at some point. If somebody knows of a decent one. Uh-oh, here comes the Janus. So it looks like air is quite even, but I don't know why Tagada is all the way over here. Somehow the Janus has killed one thing. I thought he was running to the base to drop some bombs on the base, but it doesn't seem like it. Now the Janus is dying. But now it survives, and it's one-tapping inties like a boss. Oh, it goes down though, that's sad. Gonna land in the water. Splash. Good night. Other Janus. Oh, gunship. And oh, the land is making its presence felt. We have some NGs. Did they get dropped? They did get dropped here. And maybe some units did as well. So the spam is coming. We have an anti-air. We should see some static anti-air in expansions now. You see here is where the Janus killed an engineer. That's actually the only thing it killed other than inties. And the raids are coming in. We only have a couple of land factories producing spam on this side. And Tagada has maybe 5 factories. We have 2 here. 1 in the base, 1 here. And 1 here that's making NGs though. So basically it's a fight for air, and at this point Farms has to maintain air control. Otherwise he will die very quickly. The land is doing real damage, and this lack of expansion here is hurting Farms a lot. He's down to almost down to just half of Tagada's income at this point, trying to defend with Janus. The Janus are just not doing the right damage. He needs to kill pigeons in the base, but now there's a T2 pigeon. If he could wipe, he needs to wipe another expansion. He has killed this one, but now it's been redropped immediately. 2 engineers here. There's a drop on some engineers, and the pigeon loses 560 HP there. Multiple anti-airs in the base. For some reason beta breaks replays. Yeah, that's how beta works. Basically when it gets updated, there's no version control on beta, so if I merge a pull request, that will update beta and it will break all the previous replays since Beta was reset from the last actual game patch. It's just why I don't just constantly add things to beta, so I don't break replays all the time. I just try and merge stuff all at once, try and limit that. But yeah, beta will break replays. Trying to kill T2BGen with Janus. Yeah, trying to kill T2BGen with one Janus when there's already multiple anti-air, that's very futile. If you had 3 Janus, this thing would be dead. And maybe all the other pigeons in the base would be dead too. Yeah, Tagada doing the right thing and getting these static turrets up. And there's so much wasted air now. Farms is not controlling everything correctly, so all the pronunciations. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Would it say? Would it be Mykonen or Makanen or neither? Or Makanen? Tiger looks to have a ton of inties now. So all these gunships are kind of doomed. Oh, your first name. Yeah, your first name, I don't know. I don't know. Then I don't even know where Finnish language comes from. Like, what's the history of it? Well, I guess Farm's now gonna die to air because he has lost air, and we should see some Natas, gunships, and then torpedo bombers to finish him off once he slides off the land. Uh-oh, gunships under fire. Finnish is related to Hungarian. I feel like I've heard that before. I knew Hungarian is also a very strange language that doesn't have the same history as almost any other language in Europe. But again, I don't know what the history of it is. Is it like Turkic sort of history or something? I don't know. Look how small cyclones are compared to... They don't look too much smaller, do they? Yeah, they look quite similar. They are a bit smaller, yeah, but not that much. PD going up. I don't know how this... Yeah, I mean, this game... I feel like it should end pretty soon. Somehow Farms has made a ton of inties and is fighting back on air, but he's lost so much map control. And now his ACU is just standing in the middle of a base, reclaiming everything around it. Did get in before the PD could do anything. Once again, there's just a box. A box from box. I can't see what that symbol is. Land overtakes the beachhead. This base will go down very quick. Oh, a monocle. Jolly good. Well, Farm's just trying some weird stuff on ladder anyway. I like it. It's not always working though. Let's see, how many people are watching? 52 it says here. That's pretty good. Is there any chance of a snipe? That's what I'm interested in. Is there any chance? Oh, there's a lot of anti-air to take out, but once you have this many gunships, it dies so quickly that it's not very effective really versus gunships. I feel like early on when there's small numbers of gunships, the T1 anti-air is can be quite good. But later on it's much better versus much better versus T2 fighter bombers. Except for the Cybran one. The Cybran one is just kind of bad anti-air. But then it can shoot at the ground, so allowances have to be made. Riptide's now moving out. I love it. Oh, Tagada wants this fight now. And I can see why. He has a ton of inties. But let's see how this fight works out for him. Looks like he's done a split attack there or something. That's a very bad turn. Tell you that wins air so convincingly that he will not lose it for the rest of the game unless he flies over 4 flags in the one place. Finnish and Hungarian have similar routes, yeah. Yeah, I must look that up after. See what those routes are. Riptide's raiding with the help of a gunship. This ACU has just been standing here killing every unit that comes out of the factory, farming veterancy. And look at how much health he has now. He's just been like, Tagada should have turned these off a long time ago. He's only paused them now. But yeah, this ACU will finally die. 2 gunships, which is only to be expected. How do you micro air? Well, select it and then click in circles. Well, basically you're trying to, that's how I find, you know, people ask questions, how do you do this? And it's probably better to explain what the goal is than it is to explain exactly how to do something, because at the end of the day it is just clicking in circles would be the main thing. Clicking in circles, but you have to predict the opponent's turn, and you want to try and get all of your air force behind his air force. That's the goal, and both players are trying to do it. So if they can both micro to a decent level, it's going to be hard to do that. But basically, you're trying to get behind the other player with your fighters. And however you do that is a good way. Patrol and attack move are very unreliable. Also, when you're microing, say click in circles, you want to try and make the fighters turn as tightly as possible. So you don't, if they do a longer turn, a looping turn, then it's going to be a lot easier for your opponent to get in behind you. If you have a tighter circle, then you're going to have an easier time turning in behind your opponent and getting free shots away. Might want to +10 through this. What happens? Somebody lose a transport on the way to an island, I guess, or something like that. Or a bomber. Drops. Kills all the NGs. Let's see. It's not enough power for Pepsi. Not enough at all. Has to adjust. Here comes transport dropping. Inti's out for Farms, but he is late to the party. Farms is dropping across the map. This transport is not going to make it. Oh. Move the transport away. He could lose this engineer. Yep, he lost an engineer there, and the other two took a lot of damage. And now we have a drop on this island, but there's already a factory here. So maybe, oh, if he drops directly on top of the factory, then he has a chance. Gonna reclaim the factory. No, another mantis is already coming out, but it's coming out close to the... Oh, I wonder if he could have reclaimed that mantis. This PD is not going up. Yikes. Well, sometimes you take risks and sometimes they do not pay off at all. Not even close. Ouch. Chiron. What's that about Vikings? All right. What's gonna happen here? There's some tree reclaim on this map and some rocks. Kind of have to grab them all. I mean, the trees, these trees are, I mean, you should grab these because they're very easy to take. You should take the rocks. I don't normally take these, but you could, I guess. Looks like Farms has a better build in terms of getting Intis out immediately, but he sort of wasted the Intis there completely. And Pepsi with a bomber. And the Intis have found the transport. And this transport is going to go down quite quickly, but it should drop. The hell? It took so long to drop there and there were no shots fired for a while. So the transport is going to go down. I think in this scenario you should leave the transport close to the engineers so they can just reclaim them. Reclaim the transport once it dies. Good dodge from Farms. And the bomber is actually going to die to this Inti. And Farms is winning air, it seems. Yeah, you saw a bomber. Yeah. Oh, Esperanto with 2 transports. I wonder if that was by accident. Now his base is free from any mobile build power. It's dropping to the middle. Where's this guy dropping? He's gonna drop right next to him. Should be dropping, I guess. Yeah, here and here. Oh yeah, this, by the way, you can't walk up onto this part. You have to drop there. Thomas Hyatt's here. Hello. Quite a bit of mass in this location. Nice bit of reclaim. But people generally prefer to drop on the mexes, the bases here, instead of near the Hydra on the mass, which I think, you know, you could make the argument that you can drop here. But mass at the start of this map is quite low, I feel like. I think that's a problem on this map. But, yeah. Farms looks decently well set up at this point. Not in any real danger. He has map control to fight over, as he will do for a long time on this map, but for now his opening has gone well, catching that bomber, keeping his NGs alive, and expanding faster than Pepsi. Pepsi trying to catch up with the double transport, and he has 2 transports, and he didn't drop here. That's madness, absolute madness. Factories going up. Factories going up. Let's see what his economy's like. It's okay. He has quite a bit of energy overflow. All these guys in the base are building pigeons. And now he's probably going to go T2 air. Yeah. He just added some extra pigeons to afford the T2 air upgrade without stalling power. He will stall mass though very soon. Another transport pops out. No T2 air from Farms. Is he making T2 land? Is he making... He has no mass now. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Only 47 mass income, and you have to deal with a 20 by 20 map. It's sort of unpleasant. But his map control is looking better now. Taking a lot of the mechs on the top. Taking the plateau. Making some units to defend it. Hydrocarbon may be less of a priority though than mexes and mass, but this economy looks quite good. No navy as of yet. This is where the navy production is going. I do this as well. I think it's just, you know, you have to find something for the engineer to do after he takes these mexes. Building naval factory seems like a more reasonable option, a good option for that engineer. It looks like Farm's going to take more map control. This plateau is going down thanks to the power of the Seraphim transport. He can drop a ton of units and also engineers as well. So factory is dead, engineers are dead, and the spam looks a lot better for farms right now. Thomas says he thinks it's really bad to make naval factories here, especially for, I would say building, yeah, 4 naval factories here is probably not that great, but put the NG behind the rock to idle and be there to rebuild. Well, that's not a bad idea either, for sure. Hadn't thought of that, but yeah, that makes some sense. But if you send it back here and build a naval factory back here, then it's also there to rebuild, but it can also add some naval build power as well. We could combine the options, and having a naval fac, Bloodier said, also helps you rebuild because you can make engineers from it. Very true. So the topside pressure has been stopped by the ACU's position, and on the bottom side, actually, yeah, it looks like we have a lot of mantas. It's going to be hard to outspam Pepsiranto. Looks like Farms wants an air fight, but he's sending in maybe 6 inties ahead of the rest. They get annihilated, and he actually just has less overall anyway. So this is a complete air suicide, reminiscent of Bloodier. Sagda says also halves the travel time for frigates to the mexes where they're raiding. Well, that is a point. I would say it's not that relevant, but it is a point. Not that relevant, I would say, because frigates are very quick anyway, and traveling here to here doesn't take that long. You don't suicide anymore, Bloodier. Well, I'll take your word for it. Thomas does, though. Okay. Well, I'm afraid you still have the reputation attached to you. And honestly, I haven't been watching much ladder lately, so I don't know who's the air suicider at this point. I don't think you could ever play exactly like Bloodier, Thomas. Really don't. We got the spam wars, and we have T2 air now, so I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna come down to the air. Bloodier only plays Seraphim now? Really? Interesting. Naval factory still under construction. Torpedo bombers all over the place. This seems like quite a good place for naval build power, honestly. Maybe just building factories like next to the mexes is good. If you build one here, one here, just to mess up the pathfinding of the frigates and have frigates coming out obviously right next to where you're being raided. Tagada also plays Seraphim only. We got a cat fight in the chat. Salt and pepper. What is salt and pepper? Pretty sure it's been on the ladder, but I haven't played it. A lot of gunships moving around dangerously. Oh, T2 Raynor is the target. Or is it? There goes a mechs. There goes a factory. T2 Raynor goes down. Pepsi, ooh, making the gun on the front lines next to a large army, including 4 chicken bots. This seems very risky. All these units are out of position there, in the middle of nowhere. This gunship's doing good work on the plateau. A couple C2 mexes in the middle, none on the main island for Pepsi. So Pepsi actually ahead in terms of upgraded mexes versus farms, and not something you'll see very often. It's not really his playstyle in general. Oh, the gunship's gonna get wasted though, flying with no protection, and flew directly into the entire air force of farms. Is farms gonna try and pull out of this fight? He has to commit, actually. Esperanto, meanwhile, did not have to commit, and it looks like he has less. So here you can see farms getting right in behind with a great turn. See these inties here almost always behind the enemy inties. And wow, a ton of them just dropped out of the sky. It's quite even, actually. But farms wins it. And all the reclaim is here for farms to grab, I would say. Or it's more likely that he'll be able to grab it. But Pepsi has been allowed to just make the gun upgrade on the front line. And this is quite bad. Only now is farms moving in. The Nothas dropping on the ACU. Oh my god, they're landing. He's gonna die to the Nothas. He is. He's dead. Yeah, Nothas are busted in this patch at the minute. Mistakes were made. Pretty sure that gun ACU could not have stopped. Like, what is that? 9 Ilshis? 10, 11, 12, 13. A ton of units with them. Well, hopefully the patch won't take too much longer now. Shouldn't do. Alright, let's see. What did we... Oh, we missed the arcane game. Let's click on that one. Alright, Farms and Pepsi again. White chocolate is chocolate imposter. It's not real chocolate. It's just got the same name. Ooh, he actually he actually got the kill on Zedgy back here. What died here? A lab and a scout? Or what? My white chocolate, can you surrender? Maybe it's just a term of endearment in horribly broken English. If you go too fast, sometimes chat messages disappear. Well, what I've found is that chat messages can simply disappear in the ether at any moment, and it has nothing to do with how fast you go through the replay. Sometimes I will send a message in a game and I watch the replay, my local replay, and that message never appears. And I also never know if the other player has even seen the message. So chat messages are weird for sure. I think it's meant to be a racial slur. Yeah, baby. Not a very good one, let's be honest. Should call him a string bean. Bit of a raid in the back. Looks like it won't do anything. This is quite a nasty raid though. Engineer gonna go down. And both the mexes should die as well. On this side, Pepsi moves forward. He's taking the reclaim with his factory. And he's being quite aggressive. Looks dangerous for Farms on this side. Doesn't have many factories, honestly. That's we're only at 6 minutes, I suppose. So, wow, he's really lacking mass. Actually, he hasn't gotten any of this reclaim. It seems needs to just start reclaiming with the ACU. I'd say spam some clicks and move on. But killing its expansion is huge for him. He needs to now defend against this pressure. He's not going to be able to though. This expansion is doomed. Has to be doomed. And Pepsi, maybe he can hold here. UEF don't have quiet shooting sounds. I mean, yeah, Mantis are maybe a bit more piercing sound, but UAF gun actually sounds a bit like a weapon, you know. Yeah, Aeon are the quiet ones. T2 land is up. That's probably where all the mass went. Also have a T2 mechs as well, so pillars, where are the mongoose? Where are the mongoose at? Disappointed in Farms now. T2 land just under halfway, no T2 mechs for Pepsi. And he's now killing the expansion. He's lost his own and he's trying to drop. He's dropping right next to the ACU. So Farms has done quite well here to actually have decent map control and get the T2 mechs and T2 land. Now you should be in the driver's seat at this point. Bloodier too depressed to play ladder. Then you're probably just depressed enough to play Settings. Not that depressed. Well, we're already have 1,200 users online. It's only 5 o'clock my time. Air fight going the way of Esperanto, it seems. Although he messed with the micro, so maybe should be a draw then. Oh no! Now Farms has gone idle. See those free kills at the end there? That hurts. Pricey boy, hello. Pepsi now with the superior map control. He has one in the corners. He's taking back his own main expansion, or furthest main expansion. Still has control of this. And oh, he's not making an upgrade. I thought he might be making the gun. Doesn't seem that way though. Thomas asking the hard questions in the chat. See, Farms has recycled some factories here in his main base that he doesn't need to put that mass back into T2 support factories and other projects like a PGen. Oh my god, Farms taking a lot of fire here. Yeah, you don't want that many units in range of your IC, really. Quickly lost 2000 HP or more. And now we have, well, it's hoplites versus mainly T1 land and some pillars. There goes one hoplite. There goes one pillar. Is that a question for me? Pricey? Oh, there's a lot of pressure coming here. And the gun is on the way. There's no T2PD though. That's kind of disappointing. I would say there should be... No! He just cancelled. He cancelled the gun and he was about at least 2/3 of the way there. And he just cancelled the gun. That does not seem like a good decision. There's so many pillars here and there's no T2 units whatsoever. So these Mantis are going to get melted. And the ACU is not going to be able to hold on to the reclaim field. It looks very, very good for Farms now. We have a drop in the back. There's only... Oh, did they die on the mechs? I think these Mantis may have landed on the mass extractor, therefore killing them. I could be wrong, but one Mantis survives. However he did that, and Mex is gonna go down. Question for Thomas. All right. I feel like there's way more delay than there should be. I had the delay set to low latency, but I guess I should need to set it to ultra low. So I'm not getting these responses from chat as fast as I thought I might. Hello, Jun Junk. So many pillars. I'm sad though. Sad that there's no shields, that there's no mongoose, that there's no T2PD, no Sparky, no Flak even. Where are all the other units? Looks like Pepsi's winning air here. Do we have... Yeah, we do have a gun comp. Hoplites aren't going to be able to do much at this point. And there's no stealth with the hoplites either, so they're very vulnerable. Can be seen easily and overcharged. Thank you, Pricey. I will continue to cast. I think there'll be a lot of time for Spring Commander in the near future. Live latency is 7.75 seconds. Well, that's not too bad. Felt longer, probably, but it should be around that low. Although I don't know how you measured that, actually. Maybe just by measuring my response to messages. Nice drop in the back. Another drop coming in. Why? What's going on? What the hell? Did you see that? The Inties aren't shooting. What is this? What is this? What the hell, man? Alright. Back expansion dies. There's a Corsair now. Oh. PGen survives. There's a huge battle just happened here, and pillars are crushing everything. Because there's only T1 units really from Pepsi. He's sending all of his T2 units to the right, and as a result has just crushed a pillar army with an absolute metric ton of hoplites. PGen, oh, it's saved by the mobile shield generator. Very nice move from Farms there. Oh, you can get stats. All right, that's cool. What's the toilet paper situation? Yeah, people are losing their minds here. Like, just insane queues in the shops yesterday, and you know, people think the world is going to end, I guess. But I mean, people in Ireland are like that. They will if you can't have something for one day, then people will just stockpile things. Like, say for a long time you couldn't buy alcohol in Ireland on Good Friday, so on the Thursday people would go into the off license and buy so much alcohol. So much. They just stock up like for no reason. There was one day they can't buy alcohol and they just go and, you know, go mad. But and then say we had a lot of ice at one point, and schools closed down and stuff, and everyone ran into the shops to buy bread. To buy tons of bread, so you couldn't even get a loaf of bread in the shop. So I guess it's not surprising that because of this thing that people are losing their minds even more, actually. So yeah, toilet paper is now people are only allowed to buy a certain amount of toilet paper. You can't go in and buy a load of toilet paper now, because people have been stocking up on that as well for some reason. I don't know. People are just crazy. I mean, there's tons of stuff in the country already stockpiled because of fears about Brexit, so there's actually not a shortage of anything really, except like, you know, hand sanitizer and stuff, where people are buying tons of it all over the world. Pubs here closing at midnight. Good Friday, yeah. Yeah. You're on your last roll. My god. I'm sorry to hear that, Bloodier. Yeah, I know. It doesn't give you diarrhea, so... Don't know. But yeah, Farms has won this game. He has absolutely crushed, and it's just, you know, if you look at what he did at a certain point, he had this expansion, he lost this, but he had a T2 Max and T2 land up already when Pepsi was still making T1. Pepsi continued to make tons of T1. Oh, haha, fuck's sake. Goddamn. Classic Farms there. Takes the draw. So, yeah, that just shows how good T2 land is, I guess. If you really... If you get there before your opponent and get your extra support factories up a long time before your opponent, the T2 land is going to crush their T1 land massively. It's going to be far more efficient. And the pillar spam was strong. It is strong on this map in general, I would say. T2 spam is a big deal on this map. Thomas, you got banned from Tinder. Oh, what did you do? Alright, let's see, what should we watch here? Oh, let's watch Bloodier and Torin on Gateway and Rose. Banned 3 times. Yeah, I'm sure the FAF rating gets all the girls. Aeon for Torin, Seraphim for Bloodier. I'm not sure what they're gonna do here. I'm not sure what you should do here. It's a tricky map. How do you do the opening on this map? You obviously go second air. I think building a pigeon is fine because you're a bit further away from the hydro. Go for transport pretty quick, but not... You can't immediately go for a transport. Actually, it might be good to have another anti-air in the middle, like right here, to stop instant anti-rush across the map. That would be way more relevant than these two over here. Or you could have like one... Well, I have to see what the range is. Let's see. Let's see. That one covers here. Feel like one here. Somewhere. To block the Inti running straight across. For the Inti rush, that might be good. I think civilians can add some options to maps like that. You can use civilians to mess with the meta. Miss the transport every game is completely intentional. Bait enemy into investing into a proxy base. Where are you making proxies on this map, though? To try and take this from your opponent? I think I've seen that in a game. I mean, where do you really make proxies on this map? See, it seems like they're the kind of islands where it's quite small, so you can't really have any prolonged land battle on any of them because they're too small for that to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you drop and make a proxy somewhere you're fighting, you have to immediately crush the enemy. If you're there any prolonged time, then it's gonna be probably a net negative. You can proxy in the main base. I was looking at all this open space, but like, there's a risk. Although there are a lot of people that don't build radars anywhere. Mr. Bloodier, I would say, is a prime offender of this, but what do you mean by people drop straight across? Do you mean across here? Or here? Or both of them, do you mean? Is that what you mean by straight across? Oh, like Torn is doing this? Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay. Is there gonna be a radar from Bloodier? Doubtful. Torrent builds a radar, knows what he's up against now, starting to build factories. Factory up from Bloodier, and even though if he builds this hydro, what Torrent should do is not send the first Aurora in. He should wait. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I mean, I guess it could be okay, but I would say it's probably not the best. Maybe you want to wait till you have a couple of units up. But the fact, I guess, that the engineers are so far forward because they went to build Hydra means they're all going to die, so it's not going to even be able to build more factories. Only has one engineer back here, so I think, yeah, Torrent should take this for sure. This location, and then he can... Oh, the ACU's walking. Alright, maybe the ACU can save the day. Seems unlikely he'll get there before the factory goes down, though. The Zooies are here, but again, no radar, because Bloodier doesn't like to build radar for whatever reason. So the Zooies can't really do anything against the Aurora. 4 factories more than enough. Drops coming in onto these plateaus. These plateaus are quite attractive to drop on. Nice reclaim. 2 mexes. Quite safe. You can't really kill them with artillery from over here, it seems. They might be a bit too far. And, I mean, imagine the radar that Bloodier's gonna get here. Get this coverage. Ah. Well, actually, it's not that good. This map is bigger than it feels like. I would say, yeah, he could, if he had a radar over here. You'd already put 2 radars on this little area. But those are nice places to drop. Also here, again, great radar coverage around the place. Yeah, middle, very uneventful in the middle, it seems. Very slow expansion. Yeah, I guess you could quickly, much more quickly grab these mexes, but people want to get a factory up in the middle first. ACU arrives. This factory is eventually going down now. I imagine he has been shooting the ground or something. No, doesn't look like it. Well, he could have been, because that factory survived a long time. So, looks good for Torrent so far, I would say. He's done better on reclaim as well. T2 mechs for Bloodier. No no working air factory at the moment. Torin, I expect a bit of a transition very soon from probably both of them. A lot of power planned. And where is... Wait, let me see something. Torin has a few radars. Yeah, this map is quite large, isn't it? I mean, 20 by 20 map, there is dead space around. As there really should be on a 20 by 20 map, but... yeah, you still feel it when you place a radar. It doesn't cover that much, those T1 radars. Quite a few units invest in the middle, meanwhile there's none of the mexes taken really. It's nice that Blood has both of these locations and both these plateaus as well, so that's a significant, could be a significant difference if Blood can fight back in this location especially. Now 3 T2 mexes for Blood, and that's really gets scary once you see your opponent get this many mexes ahead. You have to be thinking about doing damage immediately and getting your own eco back up to the level of your opponent. T2 air 50% for Torin, T2 air completed for Blood, so overall Blood, it's in the lead. Those two engineers dropped directly onto a freshly built PD. Just Zui's to help out the ACU. It seems like a good decision versus Aeon. That's all you need. Tanks are less important. My chat has gone very quiet. Maybe they're playing games. Oh, it doesn't look like it. Bombers from Blood. He's gonna deal with the raiding Aurora actually. That's quite nice. They have a long journey to take around here. But it's good that Torin's not investing in too many of them, because you can see they will quickly die to the bombers. See, how long have we been streaming? Oh, there we go. Okay. Middle, well, Torin has far more in the middle, and Blood is pushing back very effectively on this side with the ACU and Zui's. Very small Zui army with him now. Oh, there's so many idle units. Our rally points need to be reset, given that he's pushed Torin back very far on this side. But he's suffering in the middle. He has so few units in comparison to what Torin has that he could be in danger of losing, getting pushed all the way back to here. Maybe losing his factories and stuff. But still, better map control in general thanks to the plateaus that he has. And you can see a couple of defenses on them and they become very difficult to take back. So we have a turret, anti-air turret, a PD, and a radar. Is quite a decent defense. Gunships on the move. T1 bombers on the move. Very annoying to... It's very difficult to catch all these units because the map is so large. He's gonna lose mexes over this side. He will kill the bombers and the gunship most likely, but Torin's gonna lose out on mexes for sure. And here, now the army has arrived again. Finally. Needs to keep using the ACU. Oh. There's no mobile anti-air in here, and that could be deadly because there's 4 gunships on him now. He hasn't lost that much HP from the units, but now 5 gunships on him. I think Bladir's gonna die here. Just because he has no mobile anti-air. He could have... Look at how many extra units he has. That could be... If he had... Well... I wonder how many he would need to survive. Maybe 5 or 6 would be enough to allow him to retreat back to where his engineers can build anti-air. He may actually survive. He's on 2,500 now. And his intis have arrived and they're killing the gunships quite quickly. He's still over 2,000 HP and he's actually going to survive. Well, I'm a bit surprised, but there you go. 1 Mercy would have finished him. Would have changed it. And actually you can see here what the bombers and gunships have done. Most of this expansion is dead now. Firing 1 mechs. And the gunship is actually still alive, hasn't been caught. Turret goes down here. Takes a gunship with it. This expansion, this plateau is gonna die. Now a ton of anti-air, sort of. Now we have the classic overreaction. I think if you make this mistake, which I mean, yeah, he needs to save his ACU, but obviously 12 is way too many. But you can just reclaim at least half of them, because they're not going to be that useful. And you have all this mobile anti-air, you could reclaim that. Oh, T2 land. Looking like a mistake now, judging by what's going on here. There's no... Oh, now the factory changes to try and produce a flak. It's not going to happen though. The gunships are killing the unit as it even starts construction, and there's a big mass assault for Bladir as well, so there's no way any more units are coming out of this. Shane Ryan, has any advice for getting... Oh. Just 1 second, Shane. God damn it. Yeah, Notas. Fucking Notas. Now I see why he switched to Seraphim, just to abuse Nothas. Any advice for getting better in team games when ratings pumped up from playing just friends? About 6 lads I know from college, we play pretty regularly versus each other, but hardly ever versus random people. Yeah. That's difficult because you can get insane ratings from just playing against friends, playing in a closed environment sort of deal. The only way you can change your rating is by playing randoms, basically. But I don't know what your I don't know how overrated you think you are or stuff, but yeah, that's kind of awkward when you've boosted your rating sort of even unintentionally by just playing against friends. If you want to get better, then yeah, you have to stop playing just against friends, because they probably do the same thing mainly, and if you can beat them, then you can beat them, and then you can't really learn much more. You have to play against people better than you to learn, you know. You have to play against people who can mess you up and force you to play better. Hi Mosey. I'm pretty good, how are you? Yeah, 1v1s in global, like custom 1v1s, will change your rating faster than team games. That's for sure. Because team games generally you have the balanced game, so there's a limit to how much your rating can change, win or lose. Whereas in 1v1, because you're the only player in the game on your team, then basically the whole result is put onto your rating, so it has a bigger impact when you play 1v1s as opposed to team games. Because say the importance of what you did is reflected in the rating change. So yeah, if you play a 4v4 game, you have less impact on the game, you get less rating, basically. Maybe that's not how it's designed, but that's how it sort of works functionally. Yeah, and 1v1s are shorter, yeah, so that definitely helps. It's 10:30 there? Wow, you're like 5 hours ahead of me then. I mean, you're quite far away, Mosey. Quite far away. Oh, the air is just killing all these units. Oh, they're dropping the base. Frigates killing T2 mexes. Vladmir's doing really well right now. Yeah, what was the city you said you were in? If I looked at a map of Russia, I could point it out probably. But I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Let me see if I can remember. How do you get in a ladder game? Well, the wait times can be long. I'm not sure how long they are generally, but at times they can be long, especially if you're on a time like say early in the day in European time. Morning European time is the deadest, I'd say. You want to be on Europe evening, basically, is the best time, yeah. As everyone says. Yekaterinburg, yes. They used to have a different... Did they have a different name before? Yeah, no, I'm not from Dublin. From a bit south of Dublin. Hey Evan, what's up? Well, this HQ is dead, all the land production is dead. That's quite sad for Vladimir. There's a minus, but still it's looking good. And it has T2 Navy as well. Destroyers coming out. I wonder, are destroyers any good here? That doesn't seem like the most effective option based on what I'm looking at. Cruiser though, that's gonna help a lot. 2 destroyers, now cruisers. Oh, Sneaky Noth is moving around. Ah, well, I mean, Russia borders Finland, so I guess it makes sense, you know. You would know a bit more. Maybe. Ireland's pretty far away. We don't have much interaction with Russia now or ever, really. This PD is a beast. Could we increase frigate water vision a bit? so it's easier to spot barracudas. I don't know. I mean, are barracudas OP? Are they really? I don't think they are, basically. That would be my opinion. They can be annoying. They can be used very effectively. But put everything together, I don't think they're a very, very powerful unit or anything. They're insanely annoying. Can't spot them from air, yeah. But, you know, I mean, subs have very strict limits on what they can accomplish. You know? They can only ever attack naval units. Can never do any damage to you on land. They die extremely quickly to torp bombers. Yes, they're hard to spot because they have stealth, but there are units that have good water vision. Frigates don't, but also I don't see why it would be a problem now. Like, frigates got less sonar, but this had no impact on, say, the Barracuda thing. Hasn't had any impact. And Barracudas are not something that's used all the time anyway. And yeah, people start to abuse them a little bit. I mean, that's a good thing in my eyes. If people actually use units outside of the, you know, normal cyber and freak spam and destroyer spam. You know, like immediately, you know, like nerfing things because they start to get abused a bit can be a bad decision. Don't like to make a knee-jerk reaction. Mosey, I hope so too, Jesus. I'm not against changing how some, yeah, it's really annoying. I mean, that's always going to be a suspect reason to nerf a unit, in my eyes. Depends what you mean by annoying, like what's actually happening. This game is still going. Torn has been able to hold on to his stuff, and this T2 Navy has really done not much at all, it seems. He's killed quite a few frigates, but and he gets stopped. I feel like T3 Air might be an option here at this point. That's what I might like to see right now. I mean, this looks like T3 Air right here, right? Who thinks T3 Air is a sensible option? Alright, let's switch it up. What do you think of Aeon T2 subs? I have a lot to say about Barracudas because they're annoying, but what about Aeon T2 subs? Yes, that's the point, Bloodir. Antagonist says they're useless. So you see my point there immediately. I think it's quite clear why I asked about Aeon T2 subs there. Immediately the answer is that they suck. No, they have different stats to Barracuda. They have torpedo defense, they have HP, they have less damage. So they have less damage, more survivability, and no stealth. I'm sure that, yeah, I mean, the Serpent, any T2, either T2 sub is good against both UEF Destroyer and Seraphim Destroyer. Cruiser goes down. Cruiser is what can do the real damage here. I mean, I'm pretty sure these things can be destroyed by destroyers. Certainly frigates can. These maxes. But without the cruiser, some flak would be nice. We see some now coming along. The middle has been completely destroyed thanks to T2 land, but now we have T3 land from Aeon. Oh, Sonar's gonna die, sadly. That's an expensive unit to lose. Another cruiser arrives. There's no TMD prepared at all in the main base, and this would be the time to start preparing it, like right now, immediately. So give the subs a torp defense that works versus torps. Well, that's not how torpedo bombers work. They just ignore torp defense. Or a small nerf to Cybern Frigate A. The Cybern Frigate A isn't even that good anymore. Frigate A was nerfed. Destroyer A was nerfed for Cybern. Cybern Frigate needs to be nerfed in other ways, I would say, rather than the AA, because I think it's not that big a deal, the anti-air. Don't know why it's still such a meme. Probably it's still such a meme because it was really good at one point, but people don't adjust their views and expectations. It's mad that this game is still going, and it's also, yeah, where's T3R, guys? Buff frigate for other factions. Seems like you guys want frigate buffs when frigates are already insanely good units. And they're only 2-1. Which is interesting. Torp bombers drop their torps right on top of the target, yeah. Buffing frigate A for UEF and Sarah would be Craigasm. Seraphim A is pretty okay. UEF have like the worst frigate other than Aeon, I guess. So pretty sure you can't beat 5 frigs with 1 torp. That's not real. People always have to exaggerate. Yes, true, Evan. They have beautiful jamming. Well, it looks like the Seraphim destroyers can kill quite quite a bit of stuff. And there's more importantly, they've paved the way for the Zooies to arrive. Harbs have been dropped back to the main island to defend against them. That's hilarious. And there are also Harbs at the front line fighting a lot of hover, and they're getting overrun because there's just so many units. Oh, Harbs in the base now killing T2 mexes. And looks like the Zooies have been stopped cold by the Harbs. And also a very nice shield generator has helped. And T2 PDs. Oh, Harbs need to get away from the destroyers though. Still only 3 Harbs. The 4th one's going to come out. These are all full HP though. If he drops a couple of Harbs back here, he can wipe out the whole army, get a lot of reclaim. And be quite nice. Look at the damage these 2 Harbs have done. One goes down, doesn't get out of range of the PD in time. He's missing. He's actually missing the PD. What the fuck is that? Why is that happening? Not exactly a fair comparison, APM Master. An air unit can kill tons of units with no anti-air, but it can't kill units that have anti-air, you know. There's ways to phrase things that expose how silly they are. Oh, you think he was shooting a unit back here? Could have been. Could have been blast. But I thought it actually had to do with the shield, as Mozart's saying. I thought it had to do with having a shield right behind it. But yeah. What if we made the relationship between Friggs and Destros the same as T1 and T2 tanks? That would be terrible. That would be way... I mean, the beauty of the naval game in Supreme Commander is that it does not work like the land, so it's not like... You know, they have... Each tech actually has roles to play and have to be used properly, so Destroyer gets much more range, but it has less DPS per mass, has less HP. So you have to use T1 and T2 units with each other. Protect the higher tech units. So no, I would never think to make the naval game balanced like the land army. Never. Harbs getting dropped. It's gonna be a massacre. Tau says shards can't even hit torps most of the time. Okay. Well, that is a problem. T3 mechs. T3 fucking mechs. Is he going? He's staying on T2 air. As Aeon, I guess it's normal to stay T2 air, but Vladdir's gone T3. I think it's a late decision, but a good decision in the end. Got these Harbs. What have I missed? Nice flax here. And a nice T2 radar. Oh god. I love it. So much more eco for Vladdir. But some of it is dying. There's no TMD here also. This could potentially be killed by TML. Certainly from the main base you could actually hit some stuff. Hit a lot of stuff. There's so much Navy though. It's eventually this wave is gonna crash over the base and kill it. Can't really see anything else happening. There's so many Harbs, but they have to be dropped everywhere to actually do damage because of the way the map is set up. So once this T3 air comes up and there's ASF, the Harbs are gonna be very difficult to use effectively, and should be the end thanks to the Navy and the land. The hover mixed in with the Navy is such a huge deal. I'd love if he could actually start some factories here though. That'd be great. But it seems unlikely. These Harbs are still alive. They're just killing everything. Finally, a couple of gunships have arrived to get rid of them, hopefully. Hopefully for Bladir. Another T2 mechs. Oh, it's not being targeted. That's okay. This one should die. Hope the Harbs reclaim the mechs, Rex. Yeah, I don't think they'll want to do that because they would just die to the cruiser missiles. So that's the issue. Issue there. I have to keep moving. When's Bladir going to make his T3 mechs? That's what I'm wondering. They'd be a lot safer than a load of T2 mechs across the map. So many Harbs in the middle, but what are they going to do? I mean, if these were Autumns, it would be better because it could actually use, you know, he could be amphibious, but Harbs are stuck here unless they can drop away, and it's going to be difficult. T3 has been done a long time, but the T3 Pigeon still not started. It's taking quite a long time, and we have a lot of mass in the bank as well for Bladir. Some more storage would be great. It would help a lot making that first Pigeon, but I think it's not going to really matter now as Turin's base is dying. Now, he does have amazing Aeon TMD to help him, but it's probably not going to be enough, let's be honest. If the destroyers can kill the Harbs, then this base is going to die very quickly, but for now, well, they're kind of out of position anyway, so maybe snipers or arty could reach the main. Yeah, if he had artillery right here, I'm sure that would reach. Snipers, well, the terrain could suit them, but the issue is going to be they'll be in range of frigates, I'd say. And the Zuis are overrunning the base. TMD goes down, so the missiles are all going to get through. TMD is needed, but all there is PD and artillery. 3-4 cruisers now. A drop coming in. Looks like this game is on the way to being finished. Oh yeah, somebody asked the verdict on this map. That's what I missed. I mean, this game was quite nice on it. I know people instantly, before they even played a 1v1, said it was crap. I never like to take hot takes too seriously like that, but I mean, this game was a good game on the map. Most games probably don't look like this. They definitely don't look like this, but I mean, I think it's interesting, different layout, you know. There's a lot of different things, places to attack, things that could be possible, so you know, got to see more from it, see what it ends up being like in the end. Over since minute 8. That sounds a bit much, really. I also don't like that. I mean, some games are over by minute whatever, but generally people overstate advantages, in my opinion. But that game also, I was reading more chat than I was reading the game, so. Yeah, UEF AA is not very good on the frigate, and Seraphim is decently close to Cybran. An easy map to snowball, says Swackle. Well, how do you mean by that, though? Yeah, brick torps are quite good now, I'll have you know. I killed quite a few naval units with bricks. T2 naval units, even. Oh, the map looks different now. Oh yeah, Morax actually worked on this to make it look a bit prettier, I think. Seems like these have changed. It looks quite different, actually. It's kind of nice. Resident sleeper game. We can speed it up a bit. Percival Torps. Three torps versus 5 frigates, and around 1.5 torp dies. I mean, you know, torpedo bombers are designed specifically to kill only naval units, and frigates are not designed as an anti-air unit. So what level do you expect from frigates in terms of anti-air, and why? Yeah, definitely the previous map is very spread out, so you can do a lot of damage with air. I did say I think that it's T2 air is going to be the first tech you get for sure in virtually every game. So this map, another map where, yeah, you have options. Could be T2 land, could be T2 air here. Have some labs from Blast, who is playing Aeon at the minute. You expect frigs to not kill a single torp. Then why are you asking for UEF anti-air to be buffed? Or are you? Somebody else was, I guess. That map would be a lot better if you could kill mechs with frigs. You can kill a lot of mechs with frigs on that map. I mean, not an insane amount like Roanoke, but there's quite a few you can kill. But I guess they're quite far from each other, so it's not that effective. But certainly if you make a few frigs, they should pay off, I would say, in their rating and vision. It does have an awkward layout, that's true, but it's an awkward layout that obviously has some thought behind it. Why should Cybran and Sarah have the same anti-air as UEF? Or why should UEF have the same as Cybran and Seraphim? Because I mean, Seraphim has well, Seraphim has no anti-air on its destroyer, for example. But it does have hover flag. Doesn't have T2 shields though. UEF has T2 shields that protect their cruisers, which have insane anti-air. And their destroyer has anti-air, although it's not exactly something special. So whatever, just nerf Slimer, sorry. See, I don't buy that at all, because I think Torps, if anything, are still too good. So nerfing Frigate anti-air doesn't look appealing to me at all. I still don't get what your reasoning is. Does Hoverflag ever hit Torps? Yes, it does. Does Torps ever hit Hoverflag? Not once. But Bladier, the Seraphim A is actually very similar to Cybern Frigate A. It's quite close. But UEF Frigate is quite bad. Sarah does hit. Come on, Bladier. Get your shit together. Fatty A buff when. The reasoning is that a unit that's not supposed to even fight air, well, it is supposed to fight air because it has anti-air, kills my Torps that have one job, kill Navy units. I mean, yeah, Torps have one job and they're extremely good at it. And really, Frigs are not even the target of AA generally, so the AA they have is only there to defend against Torps, which are generally should be killing T2 destroyers and cruisers and things. Like, Torps should be used against T2 units because they have less HP per mass. Using them against Frigs is a lot less efficient. Although still possible. Yeah, I mean, if you lower Frig HP, then Frigs are the counter to T2 Land Hover, so then there's another problem that you have created in your endeavor to solve something else. So now what? What if just blazes are better than frigates in the Navy now? Or Yenzines or whatever, you know? Can't just drop the HP of frigates just to make Torps better against them. Like that just, holy shit, look at that drop. Did you see that? He just like bounced off the cliff and just fade away past the Aurora onto the cliff. That was amazing. Is T2 Land Hover real? Oh, it'll be real. What? If you want to nerf frigates, it's real already. But why should you kill a whole frig army with Torps though? Why should air counter Navy? You know, like what do you want? Nerf both Torps and Frigate A. Well, let's say I want to be aggressive on T1 stage with Navy. Am I just gonna get... I just have to suffer getting countered hard by air? T2 air? Especially in a team game. Do you think T1 frigates aren't soft countered by T2 torps? I would definitely describe them as, well, whatever soft counter means. Uh-oh, flak. Ooh, it's getting some nice shots on the way out, but overall, most of the air seems to have survived. Yeah, UEF frigates face that reality, but the UEF Navy is a very special kind of navy, different to all the others completely. So, again, it's in a different situation to other factions, because it has battle cruiser, fucking shields on T2, and cruisers, which are amazing. Once they're under the shields, like, they're insane. Hi, Pradamv. Hey, on frigs are really fun, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely should look at shards again, probably. You prefer torps just as units to catch raids. Now that's a strange one, because you were very upset about, well, maybe upset's the wrong word, but disappointed about the torp nerf. Said you'll never make torps again because of the torp nerf. Do you remember that? Remember that, Bloodier? And then queue several games where it was a torp-ageddon, top to bottom. So I prefer UEF Cruiser to the Saruman? Yes, completely. UEF Cruiser's better in my opinion. For sure. I mean, as a missile cruiser, there's no question it's better because you need way more TMD to stop it. And because it has the availability of shields, means that its potential is way higher than a Seraphim cruiser. Blast seems to have very, very good air map control, very good air control. This is dead now. Torps of rolls come back to Navy. Yeah, I mean they do, sort of. But I mean, generally it's not as a comeback. It's more of just a crush. It's not like, oh, I'm behind on Navy, so better get my torps going. But it's more like I'm not even gonna build Navy because I'm gonna have torps early on anyway. So fuck going T2 Navy. Hover is completely useless. Don't think so at all, really. Don't agree, and also we're buffing hover tanks, so I don't think they're useless at the moment, except for, well, Riptides. Yeah, they suck ass. But yeah, there's other. I mean, Yenzines, you can definitely do some damage with Yenzines. For coming back to Navy, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Buffing hover how? I mean, we're just buffing some the T2 hover units in general a little bit, like HP and stuff. Mass cost depends on the unit, like. I actually have patch notes kind of done, but there's no explanations in them, so I need to upload those finally. Blaze, I think Blaze gets like just a tiny bit more HP. There's gonna be some range changes. There's gonna be T2 land changes, T3 land changes. Not much happening in this game. Game's instantly lost if you lose one Destro for free. I mean, you can definitely lose a Destro real fast to Torps, and it can be extremely painful if that's one of the first Destros out, yeah. But again, I dislike those statements in general. those game is instantly lost if one thing happens. I mean, that's just not how FAF works in general. Nice air staging. Is Mongoose getting nerfed again? No. It isn't. People have been scared off the Mongoose now by the nerfs, but they are probably still a bit good, but uh-oh, is that gonna land? Oh my god. Because it's fervors. Oh, great save. Great save with the mobile shield there. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, I think the T2 and T3 land changes will be quite good actually. I'm quite happy with what Petric has done. Walls are dying, that's quite sad. What a waste. So like T2 land, there'll be some range changes so that there can be a bit more micro between certain units. They're in beta at the minute, Tagada. Actually. So there'll be some range changes. For example, Pillar will have slightly less range. Rhino will have slightly more. Yeah, I kind of have it mostly done FTX, but I don't know. No one ever will make make patch notes free. I hate doing them, but can't get anyone to do them for me. So yeah, they'll be out soon. It's really my fault that they're not out yet, but I think there actually are some just on the GitHub page. They may not be complete. T3 land is gonna be T3 land is like snipers getting nerfed in terms of speed and cost. Yeah, no, it's we obviously can't do the tourney without patch notes. That's obvious. So you just have to wait for me to finish them. Sorry. But then we will host a tournament for sure. Find someone to do it if you can't. What else? Be some autumn changes. Oh yeah, autumns get some nice AoE on their large cannons, so they don't get stopped by fucking T1PD anymore. It will they'll crush T1PD with those weapons. What else? Harbs will have more HP, slightly more range, different kind of firing cycle slightly, but overall still a lot of damage, and should just be a better unit, more microable a bit. What else? Guess that covers the T3 land changes. More range on harm sounds bad. It's only one range. Just one more range. So they go from like 26 to 27, which means they outrange PD again. So yeah, they have 26 range in this. You can kite T2 forever. Yeah, I mean, it's like a brick can kite T2 forever. So a Percy can kite T2 forever. So, you know. Yeah, the Loyalist charge thing is quite strange. I still don't know what's going to be up with that. More turn speed for Ilshis, maybe. Well, now that you say it, that's exactly what is in one of the T2 changes. Isn't Harb still faster? I mean, the Harb is not that fast anymore. You know? Yeah, it's quick, but it's not insane. Like, look, you know, these guys are not moving at that great a pace. But yeah, Ilshis will have... I think Ilshis get a bit more vision radius as well to help them a bit versus stealth. But you see, I mean, I don't get this T2 versus T3. It's like, wait, with Brick you can't kill infinite T2. Now, come on, that's just wrong. I mean, Harbs get more range and more HP. But do you want them to have the same DPS as well? You can't kill infinite T2 with bricks. You definitely can. If you have more units, you kill the brick. No, I mean, I have a totally different view on bricks there, to be honest. I think they're super sick unit. And anyway, I don't really get the T2 versus T3 on its own. I don't like those comparisons because the way I see it, the games play out is that you have the leftover T2 units and then you get the T3 units, and then so it's like a T3 plus T2 battles are what's happening now because of the T3 changes. Because it's not like, you know, just T2 versus just T3 is really a common game situation, you know. No, I just don't buy that, really. Bloodire. That's so extreme. It's just not true, honestly. Like, it's one extra range, and you think suddenly now Harbs will be like the old Harbs, as FTX said. Old Harbs, it was legit. You get one Harb out, and there's nothing that a pillar can do. And there's plenty of games I've played where I've abused that, where you get one or two Harbs out, and then, you know, old Harbs. It's a current issue. What? That Harbs are too good versus T2. You think that's a current issue. And you don't think bricks are too good against T2. I don't know. I think you're way off the mark. Way off. These units have 4,000 HP. That's all. They're squishy. They die to T2 units. They have 26 range, which is only a bit more than a pillar. It's not even more than an Ilshi. You can't kite forever. It's just not true. 3 speed on a pillar. And 2.85 on a harp. Now, how exactly does the harp kite forever in that situation with 3 more range and 0.15 less speed? And meanwhile, a brick is going to get caught with 30 something range and 7,500 HP. It's just not happening. I think you're so wrong that I actually am shocked. I don't know what else to say. Except I've never seen since T3 patch the like harbs brutally crushing entire T2 armies. Never seen it. I've seen so many harbs die to T2. It's just like playing over and over in my mind. And never really seen it happen with bricks or even really Percy's. Nice T2 artillery base here. This is ridiculous. She should probably leave now, yeah. He looks very exposed here. You have the opposite experience. I mean, yeah, Thomas, good question. How have you played games in? Like, I'm wondering, you don't play Aeon at all, Vladir. I don't think I've seen you play Aeon in a really long time. So I don't know what you're basing this experience on. Harp can't go easy mode on Star 2 on Artie like Brick can. I mean, I think saying it's bad because of one unit for one other faction is pretty silly. T3 land only now. Blinn has just stayed on T2 this entire time. Meanwhile, Blast has had harbs for a very long time, and yet there's tons and tons of T2 pillars out everywhere in the pitch on the field that haven't been killed, and it looks like Blast doesn't even want to try and fight them with his harbs. So I think Blast disagrees anyway, because he's now switched to snipers, lots of snipers. Rip. Not exactly good kiting there. Yeah, I mean, these T2 armies are pretty good. Snipers though, so many snipers. I love how this base is still alive. It's just look at this. Come on. What is that about? No T3 eco. Oh, Serenity is out. The worst T3 artillery. And Blinn is now attacking with his T2 army. Gonna kill a mech. Can he get to the base? I mean, surely this army can't do anything. There's a lot of anti-air mixed in here, so it's not that scary an army looking, really. But he has killed the whole top side. It's madness how many mechs have gone down for Blast. Harbs, 3 harbs, and there's 1 Percival. A couple of shields to defend it. Let's see how the Percy does. There's 1 harb down. Needs to retreat. Where's the micro? I mean, here's another thing. The Percy's together with pillars is quite nice, and the shields, of course. Because the harps, it's really difficult to get in on top of the Percy's at any point. And the Percy range with the meat shield left over from the T2 stage is it's quite painful for Aeon. That's why they have to use the snipers at that point. And also Absolver. We have a couple here. The anti-shield units. Nice that Blast is using them. And very nice because the ACU now has the shield upgrade. 20k HP. That will disappear quickly against two Absolvers. And a lot of snipers. T3 PGen going up. Right next to the HQ. Both HQs. What's the weird Absolver change I've heard about? So, people had ideas about making it sort of affect other units as well, rather than just the unit it hits. So there's different ways to achieve it, but nothing is in beta yet. The idea would be like so that it could hit multiple units. Like if there's an army of Harbs, like could maybe hit one and then also do some damage to the others or something like that. Absolver's fine, no need for change. I mean, yeah, it is basically fine, I'd say. There's definitely room for some adjustment potentially if the right idea comes along. Because I don't think it's like perfectly set up to do what it does. Like the fire cycle could potentially be different. Yeah. Don't want to use it versus Harbs or Titans. Yeah, well that's the thing. It's not actually that great against Harbs or Titans. I mean, it is. The problem is that like if you start attacking a unit, then it will continue attacking a unit even after it drops the shield, because I mean the unit isn't going to die. So that would be one thing where it's sort of like it's hard to use against personal shield units. It's good, it's easy versus mobile shields and static shields. So. Yeah, I mean people forget to use the Absolver. I've done it many times. Just because it's such a specific unit, you'll forget about it. The current Beetle is probably usable. Difficult, tricky to use though. Again, I'd say the difficulty in using units is a major impact on whether they're chose or not. Not just, you know, the strength of a unit is only one factor really in decisions. Like RAS SUs existed for a long time. You could always make RAS on the SUs. But once they got a preset for RAS, then suddenly we played that FFA tournament years ago and the spam of RAS SUs was nuts just because you could make them more easily. That was it. And then they had to be nerfed heavily in terms of their E-cost, and now they're still probably going to get nerfed again, so ease of use is a big deal, and the Absolver is not that easy to use against just personal shield units. Bloodier, you can't call anyone a normie. You're just switching to Seraphim after playing only Cybern, the most normie choice, and now you're switching to Seraphim to abuse Nata. This game will never end because nobody's doing anything. And somehow nobody's doing anything, and yet they still don't even have 100 mass income. It's quite sad. First T3 mechs coming for Blinn. Blast. Come on, Blast. T3 mechs is the most OP unit in the game. So get to it. I love this base though. This is amazing. 2 artillery that aren't even under a shield. And they've just denied this whole base forever. Even though all he needs is like some MMLs and maybe 1 shield to kill all of this. I mean, yeah, there's 1 TMD, but 1 T3 artillery plus some MMLs, it's definitely take it out. And there's been a shit ton of Harbs running around doing nothing. This whole army has done nothing the whole game. Sruv, Ras Preset, Kendall, and Hive. Popular opinion there. Oh, T2 radar. Terrain not too great. It is a bit, yeah, it's not ideal for snipers at all. I mean, certain locations. This area here is obviously fantastic, but it's not common to actually have fights here, unfortunately. So in these locations, there's, you can see the terrain is not ideal for snipers. Look at this artillery though. Oh, there we go. There goes that. Why is this alive? I don't know, but it's not going to be alive for long. Absolvers seem to be missing. One of them is, anyway. Nice adjacency here. I think Blinn is in some trouble. Though he is using this terrain very nicely to defend his ACU. But the T3 army is so huge. 39 Harbs and 14 snipers. And 34 mobile shields. Only 11 Percys. Uh-oh. Well, Percys win. Oh, we got the restorers out. Snipers should be targeting the AC now, I think. Finish him off. It's very low and dead. There we go. Yeah, a bit of a boring game there. Lynn, slightly boring player. I think we all have to acknowledge that. Loves his mexes. Didn't work out for him here. Blast. That's too good. Alright, I think we're getting close to finishing up, I'd say. Cast a few more though. Let's see. What's here? Thomas and Torun on Roanoke. Where's the game? Should be launching. UEF Destro is another unit that's a bit overblown how bad it is, in my opinion. What is going to happen here? Seraphim Destro is very good, so saying it's unusable. Hearing you say it's unusable makes me question a lot of other opinions you may have. Seraphim Destro is a very good unit. Quite a popular one. Yes, Riptide is definitely, I would say, the one unit that deserves all the shit it could ever get. Most other units, that's not true though. Sarah Destra's the best? I don't know. It could be. Could be. It could be, but it has weaknesses. Glaring weaknesses. Sarah Destro, most versatile. I wouldn't say that because of its torps. But the submerge, the possibilities with the submerge micro are actually way bigger than most people ever exploit. So that's a big deal that most people don't get the most out of it, don't get the most out of that ability. High speed, that's up. Yeah, I mean, Janus is obviously a very particular unit. It's not particularly strong unit. It doesn't have the same options as other T2 firebombers, but I mean, you know, it's just a completely different unit. It can't be expected to do everything with the certain kind of weapons it has. I'll let you away with it, Speed. Nobody else, though. Nobody else calls me that. Yeah, I mean, Janus, it's obviously more than just a NG killing unit, but yeah, it's a weird one. It's just a weird unit. Sometimes weird units can do insane things, like kill whole bases and win air control at the same time, so, you know, that potential is pretty nice, but rarely met. I mean, you just need one more Janus to kill a P-Gen than other firebombers, you know? Just one more Janus. So yeah, it's worse for killing T2 P-Gens, no doubt. But also, you can potentially kill multiple. With 3 Janus, you could kill 2 T2 P-Gens in one pass because of the length of the drop. Yeah, unlikely to happen, of course. Can we balance Sparkies so they're able to build radars? I mean, Sparkies are sick though. And Sparky drops are very powerful. Should a Sparky be able to build everything? Well, it obviously shouldn't be able to build everything. I think that's just in the nature of the Sparky, that it's for defenses. But is a radar defense? It's not really. So maybe it shouldn't be able to. But it is obviously a bit annoying that it can't build radar. Pretty sure I've seen it take more than 3 passes for a chance to kill the UEF P-Gen probably, but other P-Gens it should not take, and I don't think it does unless they drop incorrectly. T2 air from Mary Thomas. Thomas had a little lamp and he did some drops, didn't really do that much. No break from bounce talk, yeah. I know. Oh well. I don't usually talk about balance anyway, so hear it only on the stream, because I don't really talk about it on forums and AOLIS and stuff. Sparky gets 2 OP, you can always nerf it later. Yeah, but I mean, why should they get the ability to build radar? Just because it's annoying not to be able to build radar? But like, say in a Sparky drop, you already have to bring other engineers along to build factories and stuff, so they can also build radar for you. So what's the issue? In terms of other times, Sparkies are so good that you can survive situations with only Sparkies, no units. But why? They do have their own radar, don't they? Hang on. Do they? Yeah. I knew they have jamming, obviously, but they also have radar? Personal radar? Yeah, they do. Well, there you go. There's your reason why they can't build radar. They have radar. Built in. Ha! There are other cases other than Sparky drops, yeah. But I mean, if they're on the front line, you have no T1 engineer anywhere near them to build a radar for them while they're building useful things like PDs, T2 defenses. And as Swakkel pointed out, built-in radar. Hi Joe John, welcome to the stream. Not much casting happening here, honestly. The game is just playing and I'm talking to the chat. Sorry. Alright, T2 Navy in the expansion. I always am nervous when people make their HQs in the expansion. Always, especially when there's no other naval production nearby. There's actually very little factories for Torrent. Oh, it's Torrent on top, sorry. T2BDs are very good on Desert Arena, that's for sure. Here come the Nothas. Torps destroying this unit that has no anti-air. There it goes. That hurts. This cruiser needs to be careful now. Alright, it's... yeah. Time to run. I would say this is a bit of a lower eco game than most than you'd often see on Roanoke. There goes a cruiser to frigates. It's a dead T2 transport. Just the Cybern frigate A. Look at Sarah frigate in this game. Well, it's kind of hard because there's only one of them now. See, he's hitting most of the shots there. Didn't really miss even half, I'd say. See, it depends. You see, on the way, it depends where the torp bomber is. So, like, on the way in, they may miss, or on the way out. But, like, here, you can see at this angle they hit, and then they start to miss once they get further away. And he comes in. Now he's hitting every single shot. He didn't miss once there. There, just at the end, he missed. So, it's pretty accurate, honestly. Just doesn't do, obviously, a huge amount of damage because that's frigate A. T2 Navy only coming up now for Thomas, unless that's no, that is the HQ. So quite a lot later to T2. Did like 50 damage. Well, yes, it did. You know, that's one frigate. I don't know why you expect them to do. Like, they cost the same as a, or actually less than a dedicated anti-naval unit, and they're not a dedicated anti-air unit, so you know. Oh my god, he had the kill, and then he turned. He was gonna win. And he turned and can't shoot backwards. Quite a bad fight for Thomas there. He's just getting wrecked because, like, he can't fight with frigs versus 3 destroyers and frigs here. Having 10 frigs versus 1 frig is a big difference, even if they miss more when they're not the ones directly under attack. Because, again, there's not going to be... Like, if you send 1 torp into 10 frigs, that torp will get 1 pass and it'll die. You think I'm getting wrecked? No, I just thought that wasn't a good fight to fight with frigates versus Destros. But here, now, yeah, T2 subs have arrived and that cruiser is doomed. Yeah, there he goes. He sacrificed 2 subs for 1 cruiser, though. Is that worth it? Cost, in terms of cost, it's the same, but once you like going now, you only have 2 subs again, which is not great versus like if you had 4 subs and he still had a cruiser, those 4 subs would be a lot more effective, I'd say. So it's probably not ideal. Still, ultimately, what you want to kill are the frigs and the Destros, because the cruiser can't defend itself at that point. Can't do any damage either. Again, the Torps, they just run into right under several destroyers and get lost. Thomas, you gotta work on your micro. Oh, the Noth is trying to sneak in behind. What is going on here? What is that? That's so stupid. There goes one Mex. One lousy Mex. Oh, it didn't drop. Or he dropped and killed a... I think he killed an Inti with that bomb. Torps making the difference. Down to only 2 destroyers. One of them's actually quite low on HP. It's getting targeted. The one with more HP is on the surface. Oh, he got it. There's not much Navy left, but... Well, it seems like all the action's on the left side. What's going on over here? Well, there's a ton of frigs that can just run in and kill a ton of stuff on this side anyway. That's for sure. It's just attritional wars here in the left. So much reclaim building. It's all about this. Yeah, you got some idle factories, but I mean, you have only 1,000 mass in the bank, so you probably couldn't have afforded to be running those the whole time anyway. It would have slowed you down. So. Oh, nasty drop. Two dead mexes. Looks like that'll be all that goes down. More. Oh, there goes a destroyer. More frigates getting suicided on Torrent side of the map again. So, but it looks very slow for both guys to be trying to get this reclaim. Like Torrent should easily be getting a ton of reclaim here. Thousands are right next to him, and he has 2 factories here, which could be getting it, but yeah, it's not happening. The frigates did move in. Oh, some frigates have popped out of these factories, so they should be able to defend actually. Maybe he can save his production buildings here. I don't know if he can. Well, actually, maybe he can't unless the Zooies save him. Thomas keeps the frigs moving, so that shouldn't happen. So yeah, that's quite nice to kill some of those. And he's also going to force reinforcements to go to the right now. This factory is building frigates. I don't know why. See how long the roll-off time is here. That's why this is so inefficient. Cause yeah, like look at this. See how far away this frig gets. It gets to here, and it gets to past the first factory before the building starts constructing again. So that's why you don't really want to build cheap units out of high-tech factories with a lot of assistance. It's not a good idea. This is terrible. Somehow there's suddenly 3 destroyers for Thomas here, and the micro is so strange. I don't know what either of these guys are doing. They're just sort of running into each other and suiciding so many units. It's like there's only one fight happening, but they're not. I don't know. I don't like the micro at all. There's not even many raids or anything happening. It's just you could focus entirely on this and do the odd bit of ecoing. We have 4 T2P gens. These destroyers though are crushing at this point. More torps come in. Time to run away. Still no cruisers at all for Thomas. He's not interested. Might be a mistake. He has so many. Oh, so many out of fuel inties. This is terrible. Where's the air staging? Here it is. Only one though. And it may be too late. Torn is gonna fight the out of fuel inties though. So this actually could be awful for Turin. What's going on? Yeah, Turin lost that to out of fuel inties. Sad times. Look at this reclaim field. On the screen, 30,000 mass. And now torpedo bombers will kill any destroyers. Probably kill the HQ as well. Unless there's a lot of A about to go up. There's no T2 land from Turin at all, so no option of hover flak, sadly for him. 30,000 mass up for grabs. Turin is still suiciding torps in and killing destroyers with them, but it's not going to be able to do that for much longer. Nice reclaim factories here. And the game should be won for Thomas. I think from this point it should be a win. Oh, all the NGs died. Making destroyers was Turin's mistake. I don't think so. I mean, to be honest, I didn't watch this game extremely closely. But that wouldn't have been what occurred to me immediately. I think that air fight was horrible. Oh my god. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, a Seraph frigate is worse than a Cybern frigate, so are you really gonna tell him to make tons of frigates versus Cybern? Yeah, he lost a destroyer here to torps, but that one thing is not what wins and loses games. As I said earlier in the there's no way you could put the win down to that. I mean, to start with, that destroyer and those early destroyers did give Turin a lot of control over the left side. Maybe he was a bit too fast moving to T2 Navy and didn't pay off, but I don't know. I would say Micro was pretty fucked for both of them, and then losing air completely sealed the game. I mean, if you look at what the destroyers did for Thomas, the destroyers were very good for him. In the end, once he suddenly he had like 3 destroyers built up, and they're ultimately what won the game. Won the Navy. Turin is dead. T3 mechs there. That could be a potential for, well, I'm not sure. I feel like Turin probably had that a while, but I'm not sure, honestly. I know Thomas only just made this T3 mechs, so I'm pretty confident of that. I looked at his base not long ago and he only had T2. So yeah, nice. Yeah, that was just a classic Roanoke game, really. Just everything happened on the one side, and ultimately somebody won the naval battle and got all the reclaim, and well, there's just nothing you can do at that point. And that, you know, there's some nice drops and stuff as well, but secondary really. Alright, let's try like one more game, I think, and then we'll call a close to the stream. Any suggestions? Bloodier, I see quite a few Bloodier games here. How about we'll try this arcane game, Bloodier Tagada. How's Thomas versus Pepsi going? No idea. No idea. Come on, game launch. That's a sad game. Any game you lose is a sad game, really. Well, most of them. Let's go. You should both have amazing builds for this map, seeing as it was in Legend of Stars. Who said I lost? You did when you said it's a sad game. Forgot your builds. You know what I say? Never make a build, then you can't forget it. You didn't make any builds for lots. Or anything else. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I believe you. I didn't make any builds for Legend Stars either. They're overrated. Practicing for StarCraft 20. Shameful. Shameful admission. But this is a way faster expansion here. Look at this. He's not even started by the time Target is walking away from this expansion. And this is a bit faster for Bloodier, but not as much faster. Just view the replays, it'll be obvious, yeah. Oh well. Yeah, builds are overrated. You just send a second Engie to expand. That feels logical. I mean, the second Engie just finishes the Hydro and then leaves? Or do you mean just instantly walks towards the expansion without finishing the Hydro? I'd say you should finish the Hydro anyway with it. Uh-oh. Selene Wars. This guy's trying to cloak, but... Oh, he's uncloaked himself. You mean instantly walk? I feel like you should finish the Hydro. Why not? I don't think you need to... well, yeah, you can do some tree reclaim on the way as well. Definitely be good. Yeah, I guess you could walk instantly and do some reclaim. That makes sense. See, this is where Supreme Commander is so complex. in comparison to other games. Like if you just think of what you can do in the opening builder, what the engineer is capable of doing at the start, there's just so many options. Does he, like, you know, you could assist a factory at the start of a game. If you're on an island map, you can reclaim trees, you can reclaim rocks, assist the ACU expand to build mexes. You know, so many different options. So ACU seems quite slow to move across the map here. Both these guys like to chill around in their expansion, idling. Get a move on. You have map control, reclaim to get. Tiger's on the move, Bloodier has forgotten how to use his legs. Airs pause while it's building a transport, he can't afford the transport. You weren't idling, you were building a factory. But you already had an engineer there. So it's not a mistake, I would say. Bloodier not abusing Celine's. Yeah, that is shameful. That's, you can't really, I don't think he qualifies as a Seraphim player when he is not using Celine's at all. It's you know, very disappointing. Look at this guy. I think the zero energy is probably OP. I wanted to do it though because they're not a good scout in general, and not a good lab obviously. But it is quite powerful, really, when you really abuse them. But you know, even you here are not abusing them that much. Like this guy could be cloaked right now, stay there forever. So even though the ability is there, people don't abuse them. The one you had that was here is now dead to the ACU, so which is basically the only way it can die, should be noted. So I guess it's okay. People just gotta learn to abuse it. Before I change it. Some bombers? What's that about? Random T1 bombers. Bombing stuff. Oh, here's something you could do. Ground fire reclaim. That would be annoying. You don't have selection deprioritize. You don't need that. That's irrelevant. All you need to do is just click the toggle button and you put them somewhere, and then when you do this drag select, they won't be selected. So yeah, the bombers actually did insane damage. That one, like, look at this, 200 mass killed. Has a vet level, 8 kills. They're doing great. But yeah, the Selines, you just press the toggle and then it's basically the implementation of the old Celine deselect mod. If anyone remembers that. Which I think, who made that actually? Celine deselect. There's a guy who made it. Can't remember. Made a couple mods. Flying over flak. Oh no, the flak left. He's not flying over flak anymore. Oh, another one came out. Okay, Tagada moving on the into the inside, not going in this direction. There's still reclaim hasn't been taken. Guess Bloodier got quite a bit of it. He's also getting reclaim here now. So I'd say it looks a bit decent for Bloodier, but he seems to be slower to T2 land, which could hurt him. Oh, more bomber usage, but there's a static AA here. Just gonna kill the bombers pretty quickly. 2 of them go down, 3rd one escapes, and the 4th as well. So where's the ACU upgrades? Where's the gun? I think this is the time to make a gun right now. T2 PGen is done for Tagada, so definitely in his case, Bloodier should probably wait for the PGen to finish. T1 bombers feel kind of weak. I don't think they are really. I think they're actually very good. They target weird stuff. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a problem with air units in general. It's the targeting, but they shouldn't be auto-targeting really, unless you're doing the old slow thing of just spamming them around corners and from factories and things like that. I mean, in those cases they're very good, and there's not really a reason not to abuse that kind of stuff. In a game like this, I think, yeah, in a lot of games you can abuse them. You can find places where there's no anti-air, and they can do a lot of damage when there's no anti-air around. So they do turn fast, and they have a lot of damage. They have amazing DPS for their cost. And they're excellent against raiding. So if some units appear in the back of your base or behind you in open palms or badlands, I think T1 bombers are very good at dealing with things like that. And I have T1 bomber sniped people with these bombers. Remember, I did it once on open palms where it's just one air, not even that hard, and switched straight to bombers and did insane damage to the ACU. But of course they're squishy units. Tagada maybe a bit late on the kiting, but still decent kiting, but a lot of those times were in range for a long time. They did unfortunately stop and allow the Ilshis to get away, but that's quite good for Tagada here. He's now made T2 first, and now the gun. Yeah, is T2 necessary? I don't know. I mean, maybe going straight for gun would be good, and then, I mean, you can abuse the shit out of this pond with a gun ACU. Oh, Blitter's gun's the same thing. It just makes the gun so slow, though, you know? You're just doubling the cost of the thing you want, and is the T2 really going to help you against this army? I don't see how. I don't think it's worth it for the... It's definitely not worth it just for, like, regen and HP, that's clear. Do you want to be building with this ACU? I don't know. Yeah, it definitely makes you safer versus there, that's true. That is true, but you know, you're already at T2 land stage, you have flax with you. They can even follow you onto the water to keep themselves safe from land units, so is that necessary? And also T2 will not necessarily save you from air. It could well do, but it's not like a guaranteed save. Nor a cheap save if you have to build a lot of anti-air with your comm. Yeah, some PD creep would be not too bad. Yeah, fixed pathfinding. Yeah, good one. Fixed maps with bad terrain. Another good one. PD right here would be nice. And then having a PD to fall back to with your ACU is always great. IMS. Oh, the Ilshis are getting on top of the ACU. This looks quite bad. There's so many Ilshis in range. I think he dies. Surely. No, he's not getting blocked. He's not getting blocked. He's not getting blocked. He's taking so much damage. Army splitting into two because of the pond. Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened there, but I'm gonna blame you for that. You probably gave a bad move order then. Oh! Nothas again. Destroying everything. Ah, Jesus. Oh, some friendly fire there from the Notha. Left side is dead. Now we do have that PD I was talking about. In a good position. More PDs coming. And yeah, oof. Not building a shield or T2 power, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't build shields on their T2 power. Or they try and delay it a long time, but it's a risk. I think it's just sensible to build a shield. I mean, yeah, it's expensive for Sarah, but you know, think of what can happen. Think of how bad it is when you lose this much stuff. This is absolutely brutal. There's not even T1 pigeons. You have like 4 T1 pigeons. This is fucked. The game's done. You're still building stuff as well, instead of putting everything into the pigeon. Look how slowly that's building. You gotta pause everything. Absolutely everything, bar none. You even have a radar running at the same time. Like, this could be going up a bit faster. And yeah, I mean, you know, obviously you can save some cost for yourself by not building a shield, but the risk is huge. You immediately need a second pigeon. You're gonna stall making that one as well, probably. Oh, it's just murdered your mass as well. Yeah, well, I feel like you can almost always do damage with air, even if you don't have any inties. It's just how it works. Inties can't be everywhere, and a lot of units are just as fast as inties, so you better have them very carefully placed if you don't want to build any defenses, you know. Yeah, this is very bad now. Bloodier's completely secured this. There's no way you're getting this back. This is still alive and will stay alive. The ACU can't really leave the pond, it seems. Well, he probably can, but you're not at the minute. You still have air control. Need to be careful about flax here, though. It's quite dangerous. Send the air in. Bloodier built a shield, but he has only 1 pigeon under it. And the HQ, which is fair enough. Not necessarily. Well, maybe not necessary to shield the HQ. Zooies. No. Good God. Get all those free Ilshi kills. Well, they weren't free, but they could have been completely avoided. Ilshi's, or Zui's are pretty good. Yeah, Bloodier comfortably ahead now. Very comfortably. There's so much reclaim here though, and this is one of the big advantages of a T2ACU. I mean, if you can quickly grab these units, these wrecks. Yeah, manual reclaim. I gotta see it. Like, I mean, you can get like 1,000 mass in 20 seconds here. Or wait, how fast is AC reclaim with this much build power? It's like 50. I mean, it's like 200 mass a second or something like that, or more. What is it? It must be around 200 or 250 mass a second, right? So yeah, thousands of mass in a few seconds. So gotta invest in manual reclaim. You can tank a PD for a little while. You have 6,000 HP. Can't give this back to him. This is your game. This is your game plan right here. If you get this reclaim, you have a chance. If you don't, it's over. Oh, this PD went down. Wait, what killed that? Is that a Noth that killed it? This lake fucked me so. I mean, the lake is good for you. I don't know how you can complain again about a lake like this. Like, if it messes up your units, then yeah, sure. If they get stuck on the thing, that sucks. But if your army splits because you give a bad move order, that's on you though. And it's epic for the ACU. You'd be dead otherwise, so you can't really complain. So not really an excuse, because it's actually for your benefit. This, like, it's for the attacker's benefit. This looks like another suicide from Bloodier. I mean, he has similar number of T2 units, so that's going to be a bad fight. Oh, Noth has come in. More reclaim donated. Get a PD up here as well. Get these units going. The engineers to the front line first rather than close to. Just try and reclaim the stuff further away immediately, because that's what he's going to be going for. The rest of it is more secure for you, so get it later. Although you are desperate for mass because you have so little map control, so yeah, bit of both, I guess. Zui raid kills the T2 raider, and the reclaiming factories. Ow, that's quite sad. Why did the expansion never get attacked though? Like, if you have T2 air, this can be killed very quickly. Could be a good option. Air suicide. No. It's sad. Bloodier, will he react fast enough to catch a lot of these? Oh, he is catching a lot of them. And there's no flak here to retreat to, and now it's going to be an air fight between some out of fuel inties. Well, not bad. Taggart has saved it a bit by retreating to the out of fuel inties, getting them into the battle, but still loses air in the end. Oh my god. How much damage these Noths do? They're nasty. MML is breaking through here. PDs have gone down. ACU should be able to kill all of these units, but now with air lost, and I don't see, I mean, there's virtually no reinforcements coming now. So this ACU is probably gonna die now to just air, basically. So there's no reinforcements. Here's the nearest flak to the ACU. Oh, that's disgusting. An arty base. And it's not even in range. Come on. That's terrible. It's so disappointing that you're just out of range of the base. Like, why? You shouldn't... Come on, stop building so many more of them. I mean, if you built 1 or 2 and killed his defenses here, that'd be fine. Building 4 of them that are in range of not much. Not a fan. It's just like the game's already won and you're wasting mass into something not that useful. Well, that was something. Interesting enough game there. And Valier wins it. Tagada definitely could have taken this game for sure. Right. Okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream there. Thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, the Hero Nathas did win it. That's true. The OP Nathas. So yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching the stream. And I'll probably stream a bit more. What with the global happenings. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time, guys. Have a good one.